Finally on the Buffalo. 150 miles of undammed, bluff-filled, blue water. It's a beautiful spot in Arkansas. Tons of water right now. I've never been here in the spring. Redbuds are starting to pop, dogwoods are flowering. It's really wet right now. River's a little up, but just got a ton of rain, so that could change pretty quickly. I think the waterfall viewing is going to be incredible today. Got about a 35-40 mile paddle that I'm going to try to complete in, or I am going to complete in 3 days. Camp on the river for 2 nights, so just getting started and I can't wait. So many nice pour-offs going on right now. I'd like to get my big camera out. I don't know if you can see these at all, but just incredible waterfalls coming off of these mountains right now with all this rain. The Buffalo's mainly fed by rain runoff. There's probably a few springs, but nothing like some of the rivers in Missouri. So it gets pretty low in the wintertime, gets pretty low in times of low rain, obviously. So when it's raining like this, you gotta take advantage of it. Heading up to Hemden Hollow. It's kind of one of those places that it's too cool to pass up no matter how many times you've seen it. So I'm gonna hike up. The water's flowing real good, so if it was dry, probably wouldn't even be doing it, but I gotta go check it out. I think the waterfalls are gonna be good. So let's see what's up. Hemden Hollow, always a worthwhile stop. Glad I did it. Pretty easy hike from the river anyway, so heading back down. It's about time to go find a nice sandbar and set up camp. Something about cooking on fire, man. I just love it. Don't get to do it very often, so when I do, genuinely enjoy it. Just while I was cooking dinner, the whole river turned into chocolate milk. All that stuff from the upper Buffalo flooded down finally. So I guess the water's still rising, and hopefully this cleans out tonight. Hopefully the water's not too high tomorrow for me to take this. Crazy. It's hard to beat. Wonder when this homestead was built. Probably 1900s or something. Crazy. This guy had a great idea, hanging a deck over the edge of this thing. What a view, man. After a great evening of dinner and stars and a nice fire, after a couple hours I put out my fire and moved down to my campsite about 100 yards down the river out of respect for this really, really cool historic home site. Hoping to run into some animals this trip. Always cool to see elk down here. Buffalo River is the only wild elk herd in Arkansas. There's over 500 elk in the herd now, which is pretty incredible. There are a lot of animals down here. Black bears, there's some mountain lions, a lot of wild boar now. Unfortunately, they're really taking over. I've seen quite a few of those out here on my trips. Some different kinds of bats that live in the caves out here. Some that are actually endangered species, which are pretty interesting. Yeah, just armadillos, just a whole plethora of animals. Of course, deer and raccoons and things like that. But no, it's just a really interesting area. Yo! Not out of the woods yet. Wind pushed me last minute right when I was shooting that gap. About crushed me into that rock. It's annoying. This wind has been worse than the current this trip. I think I'm clean for a little bit. Nothing like sending a rapid that you've never scouted or looked at before. Kind of gets my heart pumping a little bit, but outside of some big waves, there was no nasty rocks or anything, so. Make a little arrowhead stop, see if I can find anything. It's crazy. This rock is, some of this rock goes back to the Paleozoic era, like 480 million years ago. I mean, kind of hard to fathom. You look at these limestone cliffs, but the rock is truly unique here. And I also always feel like if I pull over on one of these sandbars, it's just a perfect opportunity to find some Native American artifacts. These sandbars should just hold them everywhere. The Osage tribe used to hunt and gather down here in the 1700s. So they found a lot of artifacts, chip points, arrowhead type things. So I figure if I keep looking, eventually I'll run into something. Into this beautiful little crystal clear creek right off of the Buffalo River, and it was just so neat to see all the different fish. I saw some pumpkin seeds, lots of different types of minnows, and didn't see any smallmouth bass, but I'm sure they hunt there quite a bit. But it was just so neat to get an underwater view and see the silty, dirty water that was coming down the Buffalo that weekend for me, mixing with this crystal clear water. Just a really, really unique little biotope of life thriving there in the river. Another epic campsite across from a beautiful bluff on a sand beach. Wasn't sure if I'd really like camping right on sand, and it's probably gonna be a mess, but I think it's gonna be totally worth it. Got a wide open view of hopefully a little bit of Milky Way, early season Milky Way, and then the North Star as well. So I'm hoping I can get some good astrophotography. Buffalo River is a fish or a national dark sky area, so you can really get some great stars out here. So super excited to see what I can catch tonight. That's the good stuff. What do you think this bone's to? That's a big bone. Putting money on an elk. That looks too big for a deer. No, I'd love to find out.